This is the story of Alcestis, written by Euripides. Chapter 1, Wedding Disrespected. Once upon a time, a couple was to be wed. The lovers, known as Alcestis and Admetus, were deeply devoted to one another. Unfortunately, the once happy and love-filled day came to an end due to the foolishness and disrespect that spewed from man's mouth. Admetus is sentenced to death. Chapter 2, Apollo Bargains with Fate. Admetus' dear friend Apollo enters and pleads with the Fates, arguing with Thanatos in order to cheat death. And cheat death they do. Admetus will live if he is able to find someone who will take his place and die for him. Chapter 3, Alcestis dies. The desperate, devoted, and loving wife Alcestis sacrifices her life to save the one of her spouse. Admetus falls to his knees, begging and pleading for the beloved wife and mother not to leave. Despite the pleas, Alcestis could no longer bear the pain, and her life was ended. Chapter 4, Heracles asks to stay. Family and friend Hercules arrives at the palace, ignorant to the mourning and despair that fills all who inhabit such palace. Hercules is clueless to the death of the queen, and therefore feasts and parties with no regard. Chapter 5, Pheres versus Admetus. Soon after, Admetus' father, Pheres, arrives at the palace. Admetus, mourning over his wife's death, places the blame on his father, who did not offer to die for Admetus. Pheres calls Admetus a coward, saying how a true man would have died in order for his wife to live. The altercation between father and son leads to Admetus having an epiphany, noticing that he is truly a coward and misses his wife immensely. As this is going on, Hercules is notified that it was not a foreigner who died, but Admetus' own wife. As a result of Admetus' great hospitality, Hercules decides to give something back to Admetus in return. Chapter 6, Burial of Alcestis. Alcestis' death is finalized. Returning from the burial, Admetus is unable to step foot into the palace his beloved wife once inhabited. Chapter 7, Returning with the Veil. Hercules, upon the palace's return from the burial, comes bearing a gift for Admetus in return for his kind hospitality. The gift of a veiled woman has Admetus halt and kindly refuse out of pure devotion for his wife. Hercules insists, an offer difficult to refuse.
I used to be so happy, but without you here, I feel so low. I watch you as you...
The woman is unveiled, and what lies beneath is none other than Alcestis. In 3 days' time, she will speak again, and all will be back to normal.
It's clear to see that time hasn't changed a thing.
Chapter 8, Happily Ever After. And they all lived happily ever after. The end.